a long time.
I think they do it in-house now.
Yeah.
Hi, Sangeeta. Yay! Hi.
Hi, Sangeeta.
Claire's here.
How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Good, long time no see.
I know, it feels like that, doesn't it? Hi, Claire.
Hi, Grace. How are you?
Good, thank you. Welcome
Awesome.
to the Gaia Network.
Hi.
Hello, Claire.
Hi.
Ariane, that's Ariane.
Hi, Ariane.
Hello, Claire. I've seen your face a lot these last few days.
Was it you that was connecting with me on LinkedIn?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right.
Wow. Great to see you.
Yeah, just in case my real face doesn't look anything like my picture faces.
It does. I mean, that's all of us though. We've all got professional headshots. In real life,
I know. You never know, because I gave my business card one day, one of my old business cards, and someone looks at me and I'm like, is that you?
Oh, dear.
Here you go.
Yes, I'm younger and slimmer in person. Thanks for saying so.
I'm just waiting for a few more joiners. We've got Sara-Jane coming on board. I know we're expecting, I think Laurie's coming on. Hi, Sarah. Claire, what's your time? Because you've got a little one, haven't you? You've got your daughter.
I have, yeah, they've gone out for 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
Just allow that time, yeah. So my husband's taking her to the park, so we're good.
Oh,
and it's just as well because she was just about to kick off massively. She's in this stage where she's like, she's not by my side. It's like, what's going on? So
that's nice.
part time is good. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's cooler.
Exactly.
It's cooler now. We just got back from the park.
Nice.
So hot, isn't it?
So hot with the fan on. Yeah.
I'm just about to Grace and everyone is happy to live stream on our Gaia group.
Yeah, go live streaming to Facebook.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Do it.
So anyone that can't join us live can watch us on our Facebook group.
Yeah.
Let me do it.
Hold on. Good. Okay.
I just had a phone ping, but let me. You can get WhatsApp on your laptop. Don't know if anyone didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy days.
Yeah. As long as it can connect to your phone.
Okay.
Just so I can see whether I get any last minute messages from. Okay, so Laurie says she's trying to join, but her connection's unstable.
Grace, is it just open to your? I should have asked before, and apologies for my tardiness at times answering your emails. You've been so gracious and patient. Is this call just for your Gaia Network ladies, or do you want me to invite people?
So we've opened it out to our Gaia Network ladies, some of which who have joined us via Zoom, and it's streaming to Facebook.
Okay.
In our group, at which you can do a watch party if you want.
Okay, cool.
If you want to, yeah.
That's fine. Yeah, no, that works. So it's on your Facebook. Perfect. I'll find your Facebook and share it on my homepage. Excuse me.
Yeah, Claire, is going to be, if you look for our group, Gaia Women Mean Business.
Gaia Women in Business. So not the Gaia Network.
No, it's a Facebook group called Gaia Women Mean Business. Women
Mean Business. Nice.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. What is your handle on Facebook, Claire, please? Sorry.
My name, Clare Anyiam-Osigwe.
So I've got Claire.
Sorry, Clare Any.
Yes.
IAM, and then I should come up. My profile picture is me and my husband, I believe.
Clare Anyiam, yes. Okay.
I've got a fan page and I've got a normal page. Whoa, you lot are proper out with the technology. I'm loving it. Live on Facebook. Yeah, baby. God, I hope it goes well. No, it'll be fine. I've done loads of these. It's just a chat, so
yeah, it's just a chat. It's nice and relaxed.
Right.
I guess I shall start by giving an introduction to who we are, and then giving your introduction, Claire. And then just to let anyone know, Laurie may be popping in.
Okay. We have Vivien just joining us, Harjot, who's booked in to join us as well.
Oh, okay.
Hello, Vivien. Welcome.
Oh, okay. Are they on Facebook? Are they watching on Facebook?
Harjot should be joining us live as well. She might just be running a bit late.
Okay, great. Okay. Sorry, bear with me. Just going to find my bearings real quick before I start. Right.
How is everyone tonight? Sangeeta, Gerona, Sara-Jane?
Oh, we're fine.
Good. Are you excited about the talk tonight?
Oh, yes.
I think everyone's looking forward to your presentation, Claire.
Great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just to introduce, we've got Gerona. I don't know where your screen is, but Gerona's waving, so just give a wave. Gerona.
Hey, Gerona.
Hi.
Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
You're welcome. I was looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Okay.
And we've got Sangeeta. So Gerona's an event. Sangeeta, our artist.
Hi, Sangeeta. Lovely to meet you. I can see all of your paintings in the back there.
Yes, you can.
Yeah. On the right there. That's awesome. It's really beautiful. Nice.
And we have Vivien. Hi, Vivien.
Hi.
And Sara-Jane, who we can see her beautiful photo. I went to uni with Sara-Jane. We did perform art together.
Sara-Jane.
And this is the first time joining us tonight, Sara.
Wow.
So welcome, Sara, if you can hear us.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hi.
My daughter's a bit loud in the background. So I'm going to stay on mute.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. And come off if you want to, got a question or whatever, that's fine. Or anyone can post it in the chat box at any time if there are any questions during this evening. So yes, I shall introduce. I'll introduce Ariane. Shall we do a little introduction?
Let's do that.
Yeah. Do you want to take over with the introduction?
Just very briefly. So welcome everyone tonight to the Gaia Network monthly event, which we have taken online for the last sessions. Tonight we have a very special guest speaker, Claire. Grace is going to introduce our speaker in more details very shortly. My name is Ariane, and together with Grace and Lissy, we are running the Gaia Network, Women in Business Networking Association, not-for-profit, which we have started 2 years ago, coming up to our second anniversary by this August, so coming very shortly. We've received some funding from the big lottery to help us run this project, Women in Business, and we've been delivering self-development presentations, business inspiration, inviting amazing guest speakers just like Claire tonight to share their inspirational story and motivate helping women grow and learn in business. Isn't it, Grace?
Yes, absolutely. That was beautiful.
Isn't it? She's very good at it, isn't she?
I've had a bit of practice.
So, just to give you a warning, if I have anything, sorry, I heard the feedback. I hear an echo. Is that me?
I think it is you. I can't hear anyone. It only happens when you speak.
I don't hear any echoes.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, I have children that might come in, so just a bit of warning. But
oh, wow.
I won't interrupt at any point.
Grace, can I just ask you to pause or just take 2 seconds? Can I just, I've got this on my laptop. Can I just set it up on my table? Because I talk with my hands. This is not comfortable.
Yeah.
Is that okay? I'll be 2 seconds. 1 sec.
Yeah,
all right.
If someone has their Facebook on, that's probably why I can hear. Can everyone else hear me echoing?
I can hear Grace, but
if you have Facebook open and you're seeing the live stream at the same time.
Mine is closed.
So everyone else, Laurie's here. Hi, Laurie.
Hello. Finally, sorry I'm late.
Hi.
Hey, we're still just figuring it out at the minute. That seems better. No, I can still hear my echo. Sangeeta, can you hear my echo?
No, I can't.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ariane, can you?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
It
So
wasn't.
why is it that I can't hear the echo?
Can everyone just quickly check that they don't have Facebook open in any of their tabs or windows, please?
No.
That's really strange, isn't it?
I'll test again. It's gone.
It's gone.
I can't hear it anymore.
Seems to be gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So while Claire is getting set up, I think it's a nice time to do her intro because she knows her intro already. So I shall, oh, there you are, Claire. The frozen screen slightly, I think.
yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Yes.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay. So everyone, this is Dr. Clare Anyiam-Osigwe, B.E.M. Yes, she has a British Empire Medal. She is a serial entrepreneur and has been teaching over a decade. After graduating from Brunel with a joint honours degree in drama with film and TV directing in 2006, Claire attended LAMDA, an identity drama school, for further classical training, which is where we met. We met at Identity Drama School, probably about 2 years ago now. Yeah, it's been a while. So yes, Claire realised that the film industry was tough and she left to pursue a career in beauty after working as a makeup artist during her years of study. Claire founded the world's first allergen-free beauty company in 2011 on her 26th birthday, and she single-handedly revolutionised the natural beauty market with her hand-grafted brand, B.E.M UK. Have I pronounced B.E.M UK right, Claire?
I pronounce it pre-May.
Pre-May. Okay.
Everyone pronounces it different. I don't get offended. It's fine.
Okay. We'll call it Pre-May since you're here to tell us it's Pre-May. And Pre-May UK has won 17 industry awards, including the British Empire Medal from the Queen in 2017.
Wow.
Claire is also the founder of On Point Communications, an award-winning PR agency which specialises in international communications for film and lifestyle brands. Alongside her husband, she is the co-founder of Buff Originals, a film production company who independently released her critically acclaimed debut feature, No Shade, which she wrote, she directed and she co-starred in, and it triumphed with theatrical releases in both the UK and US cinemas in November 2018, making Claire the 6th Black British female director to achieve a theatrical release in 123 years of British cinema.
Wow.
Wow. Claire won her first award as a film director in December 2018 at the New York ADIFF Awards and has continued to be awarded worthy ever since. Claire, I watched No Shade the other day.
Yay!
I'm so impressed. Number one, like the topic, it was just colorism. Thank you so much. It's a topic that very rarely gets addressed, and I just was so in awe of how you just brought it to the table and just tackled it through your film, which was an hour and 45 minutes. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a long watch, but it goes so quickly, don't you think?
It goes so quickly.
It didn't feel like it was an hour and 45, did it?
No, it did not feel like it was an hour and 45
Getting into it,
minutes.
oh, it's over. Oh.
I loved it, and I loved the way it could go off in so many different directions as well. I was engrossed. I really wanted to see different stories develop further, because there was so much going on. But yeah, emotional, uplifting at the same time.
Sure.
So impressed with you directing, writing, and just seeing you acting in it.
It was mad. It was mental.
Amazing. So,
but at the same time, that's what I studied for, you know, and I think it's like riding a bike, isn't it? Once you know, you can't not know. And even though I hadn't used those skills for 12 years, it's something that I'm extremely passionate about, arts, you know. And even, you know, as you mentioned earlier, meeting you at drama school, you know, for me, like, you're probably one of the best undiscovered talents this country's got. Like, when I used to watch you do your monologues, I used to be like, Grace is dope, you know, like, you were so good at method acting, and you know, those opportunities just wasn't there, and they still even wasn't, you know, in 2018, in the sense of me having to finance the film with my husband and my brother. You know, obviously in this current moment, with Black Lives Matter, we're seeing, you know, more commissioners, more production companies reach out to Black talent. But it's sad that it takes an international pandemic and the murder of one particular Black man, when we see that all the time, all day long, to spark interest in stories like No Shade that are always deemed as unworthy. There's no audience for this, and, you know, it's not going to be successful. For you to kind of push through and still have the gumption to make art and make beauty products as well. I was told the same thing about Prime, and then, you know, it's a global brand, you know. So I think that's one of my things as a person, is just sort of like that self-belief.
Yeah.
Even when I'm told no, like we were told 108 no's with No Shade, you know, in terms of distribution, in terms of cinemas. And then it wasn't until it got picked up by an online streaming platform that Odeon said, well, if they've taken it, maybe we should take it. So sometimes you got to show and prove. Sometimes you got to, you know, keep on going, and then it kind of takes your faith in yourself for others to have faith in you. But I'm sure everyone on the call kind of gets that to some degree. If you're doing something from scratch, or especially if you're self-employed. I've been in self-employed since I was 24. I turned 35 in 2 weeks' time. So I spent the whole of the last decade working for myself, you know, and it's not easy. You know, teaching was my fallback plan, but I'll start at the beginning and come all the way to the...
Yeah, let's do that. So just to anyone who wasn't aware, the topic today, and I'm sure we may well veer off it and touch on other things, but the topic is how to build a brand from scratch and live your dream life without burnout. I asked Claire, what can you talk on? And that's what Claire came back with and said. So I was like, yes, I am here for that. And yeah, I think maybe it's a good idea to ask you a bit about your background and your upbringing.
Sure.
To get us to where you are now.
Sure. So I'm Claire. I was born Clare Anyiam-Osigwe. I grew up in Islington, which is where I still currently reside. My mum lives 20 minutes away. My mum and dad came here on, you know, as Nigerian expats in a way. My dad came here to work for Ford as an engineer, and then went on to work at Royal Mail. And my mum came here as a chef, and then as soon as she had my big brother Peter, became a stay-at-home mum. So they came here in the late 70s, 78. I think my dad came here before her, which was quite traditional, that the man would come here first, set up life in Luton, and then he moved down to London, and my mum joined him, and that's, you know, how they started. So I'm one of 5 children. I'm the 3rd child, oldest girl. So I guess I'm the black sheep, the rebel, the middle child, the creative, the one that's always kind of doing her own thing. And life in Islington in the 80s stroke 90s was not easy. It's probably easier than Peckham and Hackney, but I guess being one, you know, I think on our estate we were like one of 4 black families, so racism was obviously quite serious, and, you know, to the point where there were skinheads, and it was quite dangerous at times to be a brown skinned child walking on the streets. And then going to school, looking back now, I can see how, you know, sometimes getting into trouble, you know, someone else would do something and get away with it, I would do it, or my brothers and sisters, and we'd get in trouble. So I guess we were quite insular. And what happens is when you grow up, you know, kind of working class, lower class, you become creative by default, because you're not going to get all the toys at Christmas. You're not going to have the money to go to the ice cream van and get the, you know, the ice cream every day like some of your friends do. Or if, say, for instance, your friends, like my best friend, she was the only child, so therefore there was more money to go around, you know what I mean? So I think in that moment, I knew from a very young age that I was going to do something creative. I remember my mum used to wear this magenta lipstick, like Whitney Houston, because that was her favourite artist at the time. And she had this magenta lipstick, and I remember scribbling my signature, the same signature that I actually have today, even though I'm married. And I knew that I was going to either be an actress. I just knew that I wanted to be in the telly. Like, I remember saying as a child, I want to be in the telly, and that I would either do something with makeup or acting, and that's exactly what I've done. And I think my dad, coming from a Nigerian background, my dad was kind of priming me to work for the NHS, to be a nurse, and to have a noble career in that sense. But I just had this gumption, this feeling that I just wasn't going to be able to conform and really kind of do that kind of work in that sector like that. So by the age of 9, sadly, my father passed away from a diabetes coma. And I remember, this is 1994, I remember just the shock of it. It really kind of rattled and kind of destroyed my family, we were quite fragile anyway, because my mum and dad had separated. But when he died, it was so final, and it was really confronting to me as a young child, because it really just let me know that life is so short and unpredictable, and therefore just don't waste time. You know, I think my dad kind of had this notion that he was going to live forever, and he was very young, you know, 58. But I think the stress of managing 2 households, he wasn't taking care of his health with his diabetes, eating a lot of junk foods. I became very conscious of health. And I reckon about 2 years later, 2 years later, I moved. Me and my mum was sectioned. Me and my 2 sisters, we went to live in care. And I remember I just developed all of these allergies very quickly. Now, as a qualified dermatologist, doctor of science, and an allergist, qualified allergist, I know the kind of litmus of how allergies are started, and they're usually a direct response to stress in some area of your life. By the time it's showing in your food, in your drink, in your skin, it's too late. You know, before that, there were other signs, but you didn't know. So I think as a child, no one really kind of checked on us to see if me and my sister needed counselling, or me and my brothers needed counselling for going into care, and then the loss of a parent and the bullying that was going on at school because we lived in care. But the upside of living in care was that next door to me was the iconic soul singer Sade. So this is the 90s, where all of the kind of British pop artists lived in Highbury. And so across the road from us, we had JK and Denise Van Outen driving around in the Lamborghini. And then next door, we had Sade. And she would treat us like we were like just mates, in a sense. She'd be like opening her car seat and be like, oh, can you help me put my daughter in the car seat, and she was just such a nice person. I thought, wow, like before my dad died, he had Sade tapes, and you know, we would listen to Smooth Operator and play those tracks, and it's like this megastar lives next door and they're so down to earth. And I just felt like that was the silver lining for living in this terrible situation. And so I think that's where my development of sort of like resilience around always trying to find the positive in negative situations kind of developed, but through living in care. And so I finished secondary school with 9 GCSEs. I went to college with my 2 best friends, Grace and Jasmine. We became like a rap group. So we would do poetry and spoken word hip hop. And I did English, lit language, media, business studies, and drama theatre studies. So it's like taking 5 A levels basically. But I dropped business because I found business really boring. Like I had already had experience of business, because I've got to say, when I was living at my mum's on the estate, me and my best mate Kerry, we had our own little ice cream business. So we would buy tubs of ice cream and the cones and sell them to compete with the man and his ice cream van. And then my mum used to make the best homemade like hand cut chips from potatoes. So I'd wrap them in newspaper and sell them for 20p because they were like 65 pence at the chip shop. So I think that entrepreneurial spirit, I think that's something that Black children have. I even learned that later on when I went to teach and do my PGCE after getting my degree. I'm going to speed this up a bit. So after doing my A levels, I did my degree, which was a BA joint honours in drama, film and TV.
Right.
So I was acting in front of the camera and behind. And then by the time I met you at Identity Drama School, I was also doing my PGCE to train as a teacher, so that if my fallback plan of becoming a famous actress didn't work out, I could always teach drama whilst I was going for auditions, right? And so when I went to teach, I'll just touch on this a minute. My last kind of training school was a school called St. Michael's in Bermondsey. And I remember so vividly, these beautiful children of all races were there. And these little Black boys, they were going to the shop. So they were coming to school an hour early. And they were going to the shop. They were buying a 24-pack of crisps. And they were selling them individually for about 5 pence cheaper than the tuck shop. So like 30p instead of 35p. And the kids were buying them, you know, because they're cheaper than getting them in school. And I remember the staff took the crisps away from them and put them all in detention. And I was, obviously, I'm a trainee, so I don't really want to speak up too much, but I'm like, so can you just explain to me, like, what is wrong with what they're doing? And they're like, well, you know, I just don't think it's a good idea, because then you're encouraging them to up the levels to maybe selling drugs. And I was like, no. This is the prevention. This is them trying to do something legitimate. They're buying the legitimate 24-pack and breaking it down. That is so entrepreneurial. I'm so proud of them, but I can't even tell them that, because I'm supposed to tell them to put that away or I'm going to confiscate it. And then what was really sad is that they would confiscate it and eat it. So I'm just like, you're confiscating the kids' food that they're making money. And I asked one of the boys one day, boys, why are you trying to do this? And one of them was like, well, to be honest, miss, I'm trying to help my mum pay for electric. And God's honest truth, I almost cried. I couldn't cry in front of the children, but I just gave him that £10 because I could understand where he was coming from. Because I was like, when I was your age, I would have done the exact same thing, but I was living in care, right? So that entrepreneurial spirit is something that I think Black children who come through poverty understand intrinsically, that you're going to take 50 cents or, you know, £1 and make that pound £2. And, you know, you want to do it legitimately if you've got the means to, but sadly, some of us, you know, some young people are doing it in other ways, and that's not great. So I got my PGCE drama, and whilst I was at university, I was working in beauty on the weekends. See, I always had 2 or 3 jobs. So I was working for Islington Council as an independent advocate for children who are being fostered and adopted. I was working at the Body Shop, and then I moved on to Bobbi Brown, and then I was doing my full-time degree. So I always had those 2 jobs going on, and doing my studying, and then doing my music. And so, yeah, basically, at that point, I was like, okay, I'm qualified. I know for a fact that I don't want to teach full-time. I will teach part-time as a supply teacher, take like a month here, a term there, to give me that flexibility, give me some small income. At the same time, my skin wasn't great. It was terrible, to be honest. I had the combination of eczema and acne. And I would go to my doctors, always trying to look for ointments, creams, and they just never, ever worked. And I remember one of my friends from school, Jessie, her mum was a naturopath and said, you know what, Claire, you're going to have to become your own doctor. You need to look up things like lavender and essential oils and make your own stuff. And I was like, this is the days where you're going into Holland and Barrett and it's like, what's the gluten-free section? Rice crackers. Like, that's it. You know, there's nothing there. So I was like, oh man, this is tough. So what happens, you know, when there's no options, when you're young? I mean, I'm 22, 3 at this point. I'm just going to keep reinfecting myself in the sense of eating terrible foods, drinking alcohols that are, you know, that are full of gluten. And then the stress on the body of, you know, staying up all night, getting very little sleep. You can do that for a short period of time, but over a sustained amount of time, it just doesn't make sense. So basically, I decided that I was going to leave. I was working at MAC Cosmetics at this time. I'd left Bobbi Brown to go to MAC Selfridges, and it was hell working at MAC for so many reasons that I won't go into. But I knew that was, for me, that this is the last retail job. I'm 24. I'm qualified in drama. I've got a degree. I've got a master's in education. I can teaching part-time, working 2 days a week at MAC to keep my makeup artistry going. Take that leap of faith and jump. So basically, I saved up £1,000 and I bought some raw ingredients, started cooking the balms literally on my stove, freezing them in my refrigerator and taking them to Spitalfields Market in East London. And so the labels were like printed from my printer. They were stuck on with sellotape. Like, I know what greatness looks like, but I don't have the budget for greatness. So most of us will not get started, and that's just not an option for me. I'll start decent and I'll come to excellence at some point. Perfection doesn't exist, so I don't need to worry about that, but I can become excellent over time. So by about week 8 of selling on a Sunday at Spitalfields, people were starting to come back with their empty jars, give me feedback, tell me how much they loved it, their children loved it, or a grandma had loved it. Can you make some more? So I was like, of course, yeah, I'll make some more, and I'll start making a cream cleanser and a toner to go with that as well. So I started using the profits from the first batch of the balm to reinvest and make some more products and to make some more money. So I had a situation where my first business, it was called Raw Skin Food. I was doing it with an ex-partner, and he and I I broke up with him. And a couple of weeks later, him and his best friend wanted to take the business. And so they stole the name on not Company's House, the domains, because they had all my passwords, obviously. So emptied out my bank account, stole the domains. And I said, all right, cool. You know, I was upset, obviously devastated, but I went to see 2 solicitors. And what they said to me is, look, Claire, you're the genius here. This is like natural to you. You get it because you're an allergy sufferer, so you know what ingredients work. What you do, go underground for a couple of months, come back with a fresh name, tell your customers to wait, relaunch, and you'll be fine. So I was like, okay. So what I usually find is that when you experience some sort of tragedy, because I could have really just like been like, it's over. For some people, that would have wiped them out, you know, that type of betrayal. I jumped on a plane and I went to Uganda twice in the space of 6 weeks. And I went to work with women and children who were suffering with HIV and AIDS. Some of them had been maimed. They'd been through some very, very tragic situations, because I wanted to source raw cocoa butter from them and pay them, but not only to pay them, to teach them how to use their raw ingredients. What I learned from the Body Shop was that there's a lot of fair trade, or do they call it fair trade? They have community trade, but I'm not sure how much. And, you know, maybe Anita was getting to that before she passed. Training and redevelopment so those women can actually make a serious income to the point where they take themselves out of poverty. Sadly, the cooperative that I was working with to do that was pocketing the funds, so I withdrew from that project. 6 weeks later, maybe 2 months later, December the 1st, I came back with the brand. I got a 25 grand loan from HSBC. Luckily, the girl that was my assistant helping me in raw skin food, her sister was a top manager at HSBC. And I submitted my business plan 4 times. And she said, Claire, I'll be totally frank with you. The room is filled with pale, male, stale, you know, they're all white men, grey hair, over 60. They don't understand why we need another Body Shop on the high street. Can you explain what makes Pre-Made truly unique from those other brands? When I was like, well, not me. I'm an allergy sufferer. The Body Shop is natural, but it's not vegan. It wasn't vegan at the time. They've now got some of that status on a few products. It absolutely wasn't allergy friendly, and it wasn't free from the 8 common allergens. So this was all completely unheard of in 2011. This is now common chat now. Everybody knows about allergies, yeah? But at the time, I had that to convince them. So all they wanted to know as well is, if the business falls apart, how will she pay us our money back? And when she said, well, look, she's a qualified teacher. She can work for 5 years and pay you 5 grand a year and you'll get your money back. They were like, okay, give her the money, we'll support her. Once I started winning the awards, they couldn't wait to help me. Do you want to double the money? Claire, you know, because they were getting all this praise suddenly. The phone was ringing. It's like, yeah, Claire Luca just won another award. And she said that HSBC gave her the loan, and all these business owners were rushing to HSBC to get money. So in a sense, I became a good poster child for them, or PR campaign. So I switched on the lights December the 1st, very nervous of my ex, just that shame and that, you know, because things happen to us and suddenly we feel the shame, even though it wasn't something that we did to, you know, that I could have prevented. When someone's got those type of intentions, what can you do? But suddenly I'm like, am I good at this? Can I come back? Like, what is this all about? Why did this even happen in the first place? So I came back, got the products into the hands of a journalist who was suffering with psoriasis. And within 6 weeks of using the products, she submitted it for an award. She's like, I've got no psoriasis. Like, are you a wizard? What is this stuff? I was like, it's just natural, you know, there's less than 10 ingredients and everything. It's edible, so you can put it, you can eat it. It's just good for you, you know. And it became a thing where every 3 months, so every quarter, I'd receive my sort of VAT return and I'd be up for an award as well. So in the space of 4 years, we'd won 16 awards. I traveled to New York, I went to Egypt, I went to all these different places to get ingredients or to open accounts. I remember I went to New York with a suitcase of products. It was August, I was wearing a suit because obviously you got to look the part. And I got my products in 1 day into 9 shops. And I just thought to myself, like, I'm wasted in Britain. I could never go on the high street anywhere in Britain as a black girl and say, hi guys, I've got some products, I can show you about it. Here's a leaflet, we take some, okay, 12 each, and do business. Like, it just blew my mind. And obviously, as soon as I open my mouth, they love the fact that I'm British, that we trust every word, just saying, just keep talking, keep giving us products. So that British thing I really played up to. But it was really just the entrepreneurial spirit of New York. Like, I just love that city. That gave me that gumption to keep on going. So, yeah. Then I remember I was kind of like contemplating, starting to get tired. You know, I was physically making products by hand. Now, when I say physically making products by hand, I'm talking about 30,000 units for Birchbox or Glossy Box, you know, over 30 days. I knew personally I can make 1,000 products a day. if I needed that in less than a month, I would get 4 or 5 friends to come to my flat, label, bottle, blah, and put it out. And I did that a few times. And then I started doing some deals with Groupon when I opened my flagship store in Whiteley's. And at that point, I was really, really profitable. I was making 6 figures. I could have easily become a millionaire, but I chose not the best location. So because Whiteley's was closing down, unbeknownst to me, the rent was cheap, but the business rates were just like finish your whole profit every month, right? Westminster Council, very, very expensive. And if you have one bad month or a low sales month, you're sort of chasing your tail where you're like, oh my God, like I've got kind of like to make up 10 grand, 20 grand, like I need to have that income coming in. So I thought doing the Groupon discounts, I can convert customers. No, people that order stuff on Groupon are bargain hunters. They will be your best customer in the moment, and then they'll go to somewhere else for a facial next week. And that's just what they're about, you know. It's rare, but it can happen that you can get loyal customers out of that. But it's not really that common because it's just for people that want to mix and match, right? So that year, which was 2014, that was the year I got my doctorate. I was already a qualified allergist. I had to make a decision to close the store, downsize but upgrade. So I went to Harley Street, and that was fantastic because it was a private clinic. People only came when I was, you know, available. So there was a waiting list. It just meant that I could manage my diary, and that expectation and that premium price point that I could charge for my time kind of gave me a bit of respite. So that was a really, really great decision. And then I get a call and I'm like, hi, unknown number. Hi, Claire, it's Dr. Claire here. Hi, Claire, I've been trying to contact you for a week. I think we've been sending letters to Whiteley's. Oh no, I'm no longer at Whiteley's. I'm at Harley Street. Okay, well, you've been honoured in the Queen's Honours List. We know that, you know, Black and ethnic minority candidates don't always like to accept an honours because of the British Empire's involvement in colonialism. Do you want to accept this? And I'd already had that conversation with myself where I said to myself, self, would you accept this? Would you accept an honour? Because I thought that was like 20 years down the road, and I'm in year 5 of business. So I'm like, would I accept if they came to me in 20 years' time? They're coming to me in 5. That's mad. I don't even know anybody my age that's got an MB or a B.E.M or has been honoured, right? In my field, dermatology, never been honoured by a Black woman. So I thought, you know what? Take it. It's an acknowledgement of hard work. You've had a hard year. That same year, my husband's mum and dad died. And that just devastated the whole family. So I just like, you know, it's for them. It's for my dad who passed. It's a recognition of hard work. That's the way I took it. So I said, yeah, of course, I'd be happy to accept. So I went and got that honour. Sorry, that's actually 2016 because I got honoured. I picked it up in 2017. That's correct. Yeah. So 2017, because of the honour, the royal family in Kuwait wanted me to be their personal facialist. They found out about me. I flew over to Kuwait. I was doing facials for them. They wanted to like give me a shop and everything. I was like, I don't know about this because I don't know if I can come all the time and who's going to run it and the training. It's just, I was wiped out at this point. The royal family were buying my products. I can't tell you exactly who, but yeah, they were buying my products, which was amazing. And so my clientele list grew, but what also grew was this burning desire for Black and Asian women to come to me asking for bleaching creams. So I have always been a massive advocate for loving your own skin. Your natural skin is your primary foundation. So I would say, look, come for a free facial at Harley Street. And I just want to know your story. I think as an actor, you're always taught to be a great listener and people watcher and understand human behavior. So they would talk to me and the tears would come. And it'd be my boyfriend thinks I'd be prettier if I was lighter skinned. My grandma said that I'm not married because I'm too dark. And I just thought, this is just terrible. I remember having these kind of conversations as a teenager at university. I just didn't realize that people were still doing the whole colorism thing, and we hadn't had a term for what that was apart from self-hatred. But then this sort of vernacular was coming from the States about shadism and then colorism. And so I thought, you know what, there's a story here. Wouldn't it be fun? Because, oh yeah, by the way, all through this time, I met my husband in 2014 when I had the Whiteley store. 2015, I went to Harley Street. 2016, Honoured. 2017, this is happening, right? In that time, I met my husband, who was my partner. Then we got married March 2016, sorry. And then I started On Point Communications at the same time, again, for extra income. That Whiteley store wiped me out. I was doing the marketing for the festival, and people were like, Claire, the festival's just become like so well known because of all of your press coverage. Why don't you do this for other small and micro businesses? And I was like, that's true, you know, it's something that I really find fun. I love marketing. I love trying people's products. I love going to events. Why not just do that? So I called the brand Jo Clare PR. It was named after me and my sister Joanna. Then Jojo decided that she didn't want to do PR anymore. So I changed the name to On Point Comms, because people were always expecting me and her to turn up, and it would just be me, and like, who's Joe and who's Claire? And I just thought On Point Communications is what it is. We're on point. We know our market really well. It's lifestyle brands, or it's entertainment, or philanthropy. And so that was happening at the same time. So you've got this sort of like, I'm in the background doing the marketing for the festival. So I'm getting to market like over 500 filmmakers a year. So I'm really sort of keeping that creative juice going with knowing about film, what makes a good film. I started becoming the script judge. So I had a bit of confidence, and I spoke to my husband about it, and I was like, do you know what? I might just write a short film. Maybe it will just show at the festival, you know, just a little film, my little contribution, just to say I've done it. And then I did a table read with a couple of actors, and they were like, wow, no way, this cannot be a short film. You cannot cover colorism in 10 minutes. Go away, write the feature length, and like get more characters and really go into the depths of who and why they feel this way. So I did that. I went away and wrote the feature length for a couple of weeks. At the same time, Premay was selling on Amazon luxury. So we got another distributor and a shopping channel called Shopping Nation on Sky TV. And, you know, it was all going good. So I was like, I don't think I can do both. I don't think I can do Premay and I can be a filmmaker at the same time. So my husband just said, look, Claire, just pray on it, see how you feel. If you can wrap up Premay and focus on the film, if you think this film's going to be a success. I'm like, you're the expert. If you think it's going to be a success, he's been doing buff for 15 years. So we thought I think it's just spiritual. I just said to myself, it just feels like the right time for me to tell this story. Yeah. So I closed the brand on December 31st, 2017. January the 1st, you know, my customers are just like devastated. What's going on? I said, it's not like the brand's run into trouble. It's just that I just want to move on. I've climbed this mountain. Certain things that I wanted to achieve over 10 years, 20 years, I already achieved in three years, you know, opening a shop, having a private clinic, winning awards, traveling the world, making money, burning money, making it back again. Changing the industry. You know, there wasn't a month that would go by where I wasn't on TV, radio, at a trade show, speaking in public about veganism, allergy-friendly produce, and pushing the culture forward, the culture that we now all enjoy with supermarkets having a free from aisle. That was because of people like me in board meetings saying, this is important. You are losing market share if you are not addressing customers like me. That's why I created Premay. So I felt like it was mission accomplished. And I am a bit of a daredevil in the sense of I like to start things and finish them and start from scratch. That doesn't scare me. So we got the crew together. We got a pocket of money together. And we shot this film. We shot this film in 6 days. I did some pickup shots on a half a day. I know your face is like, what? I know. I still don't know how we did this. We did it. It was edited over 3 months, and then moved into the editor's house and told him exactly how to edit it, because he just didn't get it. You know, it's his first film. Charles Scousel, an amazing guy, but he was just fresh out of film school, so he wasn't quite sure. So me and Emmanuel moved in, told him exactly how to edit the film. And then we screened the film for the first time June 2018, after taking the film to Cannes and doing press screenings there. And it was like so nerve-wracking. You know, you're going to the Cannes Film Festival, you're hosting your own screening of your film. And we just got rave reviews, like really encouraging. And what I loved about it was the fact that it wasn't a film for Black people. It was a film for people to enjoy. And obviously most film critics are white. And they were like, Claire, I get it. I didn't know about this, but now I've seen it. It's astounding. Like, thank you for making this such a brilliant film. When we screened the film at the festival the month later in June, I then found out that I was pregnant. So I was like, oh my God, like, I'm pregnant. I've got this new film. Oh my God, no wonder. I was just so tired. So after the festival, I shut down. Like, I had terrible, not morning and nights, this all day sickness. And it was July, and I just had my birthday. So I was 32, and I just wanted to rip my own skin off, you know, because you've had, anyone on the call that's had children knows. The first trimester is mad. And so I was then invited by a festival to come and screen the film in Washington as an American festival premiere. And that was August 24th, 2018. And thankfully, I was feeling much better by the time I boarded that plane, still obviously pregnant and unwell, but did the Q&A. And from the back of that, I got American distribution. So I knew I was gonna have my film showing in the States in November. So then we got back home and we started pounding the pavement on the emails, emailing all the cinemas. Look, we've got this release coming in America. How comes I can get a release in America but not in England? We're like, what is this all about? Don't you know who I am? You know, just the whole chat. And it's like, nah, sorry, phone goes down, emails, this is not for us. This film doesn't have an audience. This film will not make money at the box office, blah. So then, like I said at the top of the call, we got taken on by Film Do, an online streaming platform, who are kind of like a very small version of a Netflix. And within a month of being on there, Odeon agreed. They said, we'll give you, they started off with 25 cinemas, then that went down to 12, and then that went down to 6. And I guess historically, they were looking at all the 5 females before me, and they'd all had 4 to 6 cinemas. So they were like, well, you're a Black British woman, you're only going to get 6 cinemas. So I was like, oh man. So it's not only racial, it's gender as well that can limit your choices, right? So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to work with what I've got. If I can fill every cinema, the most I can make is 50 grand. I mean, that's not going to do much, seeing as we made the film for 300K. And we took, I think, 10 grand at the box office that first week. So what happens is if you have a low box office, you don't get to come back a following week. But that was fine because our US distributor had got us picked up by Amazon Prime Video, which is where most of you have watched it. And on Amazon Prime, within a year, we've had 10 million streams. And that is remarkable for an independent feature film. That's on the same levels as Hustler and, you know, those types of films, which I'm sure have had hundreds of millions of streams because they've got J-Lo and Cardi B. My cast was unknown. I'm a first-time writer director, so it's fine. But to even go over 1 million streams, I was like, oh my God. And that's because African-American women and women all over the world have just been really, really engaging with the content and really, really encouraging about hearing fresh female voices in cinema. So I gave birth to my daughter February the 1st, 2019. That was the same month I was due to be in Los Angeles. It was always like touch and go with I mean, I wasn't allowed to fly anyway, but I was hoping she'd be born at the end of January Because in my mind, I was like, I can heal. I'll heal really quickly. And then I'll just jump on the plane. Heal. Hey. Oh my God. I was finished for like 3 months. I couldn't go anywhere, do anything. You know, 24-hour labor. I delivered naturally, thankfully. But it was touch and go the whole way. But she's healthy, she's perfect, she's hilarious. Her name is Lavender, subsequently, after my favorite plant and essential oil. And yeah, from that point onwards, it's literally just been festival screenings. So I went to Silicon Valley, showed the film there, got picked up by Amazon, and another streaming platform called Quelly, recently Afroland TV. So we've made our money back, yay! And but what happened is at the top of this year, I got off the plane from Sao Paulo, Brazil, and I was bedridden for 3 months. And I said to myself, I know why this is happening. You're burnt out. Someone had warned me about this maybe 5 years ago, and I was like, I'll never burn out. I'm vegan, I'm natural, I'm a magician. I can keep going when others would quit. And that's a really unhealthy way to live. All the times throughout my career when I should have taken a break, like when Emmanuel's mum died, like, you know, having a baby and then going on the road again like 3 months after giving birth, because the film had all these global demands, right? It's not a healthy way to live. And as soon as, for me, like for all of you lot, 2020 might be your year. Like, I know I saw so many people online, like 2020 is going to be my year. I already said when my head hit the pillow, December 2019, 2020 is not my year. 2020 is my year to shut my mouth, take my vitamins, and go to sleep. I need to sleep. I need 10 years of sleep back. That's what I need. I need to replenish myself, be a mother, understand what that type, you know, parenting is, and get my routine together so that I can actually go on for the next 35 years. And I don't want to go on in stress or fight or flight mode. February the 1st, 2020, my daughter's first birthday, I woke up, Grace, and half my face was gone. Like, my face was paralyzed. So I'd gone from bad to worse. I had flu in January, which probably people would class as COVID, like a flu that just wouldn't go away. Yeah. Got over that, then to wake up on February the 1st with half a face. So I went to A&E and I was told that I've got this thing called Bell's palsy, which is basically I've had a mini stroke. And I said, okay, so what can I do? So they said, we're going to give you 10 days of steroids. If it doesn't go away within 3 to 9 months, you're going to have this forever. Now, you're telling me, a natural practitioner, that I'm going to have a stroke on my face, that I have to talk and be present for the rest of my life? No. So I said to myself, meditation, like I've written a book about this anyway, meditation and a whole host of natural holistic therapies, including steam, sauna, swim, 6 o'clock. I basically created, it's on my wall, I created a goddess hours every single day. So from 6 till 9, I'm not mum, I'm not wife, I'm not the founder of anything, I'm just Claire. I wake up at 5:55 every day, take a shower, have my daily meditation for half an hour. I would walk to my local gym before COVID kicked off the lockdown, do steam, swim, sauna, salutations, do all of my herbal creams. So I made a new cream out of rosemary and all different things, face roller everywhere. I don't care if I was on the bus, do it, put some healing therapy music on. And by day 29, it's gone, because you can see me now. There is no way I would have done this back then in March. But also I gave myself 35 days to get over it, because my husband had just got the news that he'd been honoured for services to film. And I thought, I can't go to the palace like with shades on and trying to hide my face. It's not going to work. So thankfully, that 35-day challenge became completed in 29 days. And I think that speaks to the power of your mind. And when you take time for yourself and develop healthy daily activities that really affirm your wellness. I think as women, we are really we're everything to everyone, right? We're the giver of life, we're moms, we're girlfriends, wives, which means we're doctors, nurses, counselors, everything for our significant others and beneficiaries. And so, and then, you know, if you're doing businesses where you care for people, so, you know, I've just done 6 years of pre-May, and then this 2-year film that becomes a cathartic project and an educational project where people are taking me for like 5-hour lunches to Q&A to talk about their personal story and how they've, you know, but that's my heart, that's my spirit, that's the work that I'm here to do. I knew that from a child, right? So what can happen is when you are a healer, when you are a person that is spirit-led or does businesses or art from your heart for a purpose to serve other people, what happens is that you diminish yourself and you can really burn out and lose control, and you put yourself at the bottom of your list, right? You're like, at the end of the night, I just about got time to brush my teeth. How am I going to meditate? How am I going to hammer? So I'm like, look, I'm a morning person. Let me start off the morning in the highest vibration, which is outside on my balcony, doing my meditations. And then the rest of the day is just enjoyment. It's just playing with my daughter at the park. It's meal prepping, so I'm not stressed, and I cook once a week. It's taking lengthy baths because obviously I don't have the swimming pool to go to right now. It's saying no, you know, looking at my workload and saying, can I delegate this?
Yeah.
You know, it's making choices that means that you are good for you. And therefore, if your cup is full, you can pour, right? If your cup is empty and you're running on empty, what happened to me, and a lot worse can happen to people, heart attacks,
right?
You know, serious strokes, the whole body.
Yeah, and I feel like that we get told that. Our body communicates that. I think perhaps like as we're going on, I just wanted to say, if anyone has any questions, there is a reaction button down below that if you can just do, I think I'm just
lemon on my lip.
Press it, and you can, like, if we see that, I don't know if you know how to do that. I'll know that.
Yeah, I've got it up now.
Yeah. So just
someone said, what is it? Where can I watch it? Sangeeta. It's called No Shade. No Shade. You can watch it on Amazon Prime, or you can watch it on Quelly TV or Afroland TV, which are subsequently black owned, and there's no pressure. But, you know, since everybody's on this Black Lives Matter thing and wants to support black businesses, do your thing. So you can watch it there. No Shade. You can pay on Prime Video. It's free if you've got Amazon Prime. Thanks. I think if you're a Prime member, you can get access to it, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Yeah. And it's though it only happens in India. You thought it only happens in India, colorism. Yeah, it's a big thing.
Yes.
I've got a massive connection to Asian women, especially in India, because of the bleaching creams, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to just take a moment to just say, wow. Okay. I cannot believe that, number one, you came because I really relate to your childhood.
Okay.
So I think how and in the beginning you said you touched on how you know, everyone kind of has the drive and keeps going, and actually I think not everyone does in business. I know you need to have it in business, but sometimes I think that's the big thing that creates our blocks. So from what I can see from you is you've just somehow just been able to bulldoze the self-doubt and the doubt from the outside world, the no's and the no's that we give ourselves. So I had a few questions around that myself. First of all, I wanted to know was, how do you talk to yourself? Like, I'm thinking to myself, what is Clare's inner voice like? How does Clare speak to herself? Because
that's a great question. Wow, that is an amazing question.
Thank you.
Do you know what? Listen, literally, I've written 2 books and I've written 2 scripts during the lockdown. One of them is coming out very soon in September. I can't give you that tea right now because I want to get a publisher before I tell everyone about it. But the basic premises of it is, it's that mental movie that we have in our heads, that subconscious talk. And I think I say in one of the chapters that when I catch myself harping on about memories of my past, which are largely negative, like my childhood and how I've suffered and how the world's been unkind to me, I just literally, like a film director, I just say cut and I move on. I just move on. Because do you know what it is? It's like, we can all feel sorry for ourselves. That is totally legitimate, right? But the fact is, this is not a rehearsal. People have suffered worse than me and have still succeeded. It's very likely that if I grew up in Nigeria, if my mum and dad had split, my dad's family were rich, wealthy, right? My mum's family were from the bush, very poor. We would have been dirt broke. I would have had nothing, no child benefit, no nothing to have that fallback on. And then a care system, they don't have care systems in the village. It's like everyone looks after everyone's children, and that can lead to incest and, you know, child abuse and all different things, right? And then mental health. My mom wouldn't have got the help that she needed, whether that was medication, right? Because in Nigeria, it's like, mental health for what? Wow, you mad? Who's talking? You're a witch, outcast from society. So as well as, you know, I can identify with the fact that, yes, I grew up on a council estate, life was bleak. I think sadly and sort of, yay, because of that, my response to stress and drama or problems, perceived or real, because sometimes, a lot of times, we think things are worse than they are, right? We're our own worst enemy. The mind is like an unruly child. If you don't get a handle on your own head will take over you, yeah? So in that moment, and again, I mentioned this in the book, that I've become accustomed to thriving in chaos. Thriving in the care system where all the kids around me are self-harming, having underage sex, going in and out of prison. But I said to myself, well, my teachers said that I'm going to fail. So I'm going to prove them and the head of my children's home wrong, because they've written me off. They're like, Claire, it's likely that by 18, you'll get pregnant, you'll have 3 children, you're probably not going to get married, you're not going to complete your degree, because that's the fate of most girls that have come out of care. So good luck. So to even get 9 GCSEs is like, okay, well, let's see if you can get through college. Okay, well, let's see if you can finish that degree. And it's like, by hook or crook, I will finish. You can't give somebody like me that's coming from nothing, you know, that fire.
Which I think as entrepreneurs, we can all identify with, right, no, we're going to keep going. I think that's why we're here. But then I've started to amplify. I feel like there's a little voice, which is a voice that I didn't realise had so much to say. But I'm like, hold on. Oh no, you're not supportive. That voice isn't supportive. Let's turn you up, see what you're saying, and then work on that, because you're not helping. And it's the tiny little thing. It's really like,
that's really interesting.
I probably need to find more language to articulate myself.
I totally get you. I totally get it. I think it's the chip on the shoulder from a child. Like, you told me as a child that I'll be nothing, so it's for me to prove you wrong. And I think hopefully most of you have had wonderful childhoods, so this is unbeknownst to you. And therefore, it's a case of, if you can't relate to me on that level, it might be a case of receiving 1 or 2 rejections and feeling like, can I do it? Who am I? You know, I used to constantly ask myself, I'm young, I'm black, how can I, with little pre-May, people were putting me on the same platforms as Clinique, E45, billion-dollar companies. I started on 25 grand, that's a lot of pressure. I'm 26 years old. There's a lot of pressure, yeah? But it's like, my customers cannot see that. All they see is beautiful website, all these qualifications, all these awards. You've got to perform. You're on the world stage, which is the internet. We're not here to sorrow you and to understand your bleak and dysfunctional childhood. You need to perform today.
Right. However, there's something about there's you hear some people say, let's hear your story, because people buy from people.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas it sounds like you're just like, my past is my past and I'm not letting that hold me back. Is there a balance of where your story feeds into it, to where you are, or to communicate with your customers?
It's because of who I am that I made Pre-May.
Yeah.
The two are one and the same. The girl from the council estate who had allergies and moved into the care system is the one that wouldn't give up because I needed that product.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have loads of questions whirling around in my head. So if anyone else has any questions, please let me know.
Yeah.
On being a black woman and a woman with like a darker skinned woman, how do you, right, because I find myself, the language that I found for it is code switching.
Okay.
Code switching, for those of you who aren't familiar with the term, is where you feel like you have to change your personality to a certain environment, to a certain situation, to certain people. And quite often it's the black women who feel like they have to completely switch up who they are to fit into certain environments. So, for example, I will speak one way and be totally relaxed with my family, but then in business, quite often I will go in and put on this different voice, and, you know, and it's tiring. It's tiring. Do you feel like you've had to do that? Because one thing that I feel like Claire is Claire wherever I see you. And just to explain to everyone else who's watching, like, so I met Claire at drama school, and we met, and then I bumped into you again at, I was like, I think we was at I went to a Louise Hay festival, a really spiritual festival, thing in Olympia, and I saw you there with your stall.
My Body and Soul.
Promoting, My Body and Soul, promoting Pre-May, and caught up with you there. And I remember you in drama school training for a PGCS, and then I saw you in Olympia somewhere, Mind, Body and Soul with Pre-May. And then I remember passing by in Whiteley's, in your shop, came to the shop, and you had an event there, and then I remember seeing you recently at Africa on the Square, and you was pregnant. I was a lowly volunteer working for my mate, because I do that, and I loved it. I was handing out no shade flyers and selling earrings. But wherever I see you, you are Claire. You are. I've seen you in quite different spaces, and I love the way that you're just unapologetically you. I really admire, because I feel like I have to. I know, especially with everything that's going on at the moment with Black Lives Matter, I've started to really look at myself, and I'm like, God, there's a lot of pressure being a black woman in business, and sometimes I think that we've just suppressed it and try, but now all of this stuff is surfacing. I don't know where I'm going with it, but
I hear you. Let me cut in. I get you, and I think that's really real, and I think that'll probably be very enlightening. But probably some of our non-black women on this call can say, I could probably see that actually with some of my colleagues, or maybe it doesn't affect me so much, but I can get how everyone is performing. At some level, we're all performing. I think because, I'm the girl from North London, so I'm not gonna, dot the I's and T's all the time. I'm gonna say bottle instead of bottle. I'm gonna call Anita Roddick instead of Anita. And I remember one of my exes really being like, you're gonna have to change and I was like, for who? I remember being in Harley Street, and I was playing Erykah Badu whilst doing a facial and a massage for my customers, and people. I remember one snooty journalist playing hip hop during a facial, and I was like, "You're an idiot. This is me." The moment that I have to, then I would have been, Grace, I would have been burnt out sooner. If I've got to perform as well as perform, like financially and then what happens? 2 years later, Lush Cosmetics, what are they doing? Playing hip hop and doing massages. and it's revolutionary. So listen, you know, like we're up to our eyeballs in having to fit in. A story that I didn't tell you that I tell you, which is published, it's in a book called Slay in Your Lane,
which I've read, and I heard your
right. So you know this story, which they say is the most told like story in the book subsequently, but it's a real truth. Like I was having difficulty getting Prime sold on national telly. And I knew from the QVCs and all them lot, if you can get your product in front of people sitting in their homes, like Lizelle, easy way to make millions. So I thought, you know what? Let me try my hand. So I reached out to all of them, got blanked, no replies or sorry, your product's too niche, change your packaging, which is code for we don't want you. Because it wouldn't matter if you change. Packaging is minor. If they like you that much, they could even change it for you if they're invested in your brand. So that's something I learned later. Anyway, I went on Google. I went to page 100, picked a white woman with blonde hair, created a fake profile on LinkedIn. She's still on LinkedIn. I'll leave it there just anecdotally because who cares? I don't even think I can remember the password. Her name was Nina Fredericks. She had one job, which was at the first name that I called Prime, which was Amara, Arabic for beauty. She was a sales manager at Amara, the company doesn't exist. And then she was the sales manager at Prime. And as Nina would get everything. Come for lunch, come for dinner, come for coffee, stay at my house, move in. Yeah. This time she got a meeting with the shopping channel that I ended up being on, right? And the day before the meeting, I thought, oh my God, like, what's going to happen, innit? Like, I've got the meeting now. So I said, you know what? I'm going to be going to France because we're doing Birchbox France. Claire's going to come in. She knows all about the product. She's the founder. No, we don't want to speak to Claire. We want to speak to you, Nina. Can we reschedule? No, I'll be in France for 3 months. I think you should speak to Claire. She'll be great. So I go down there with my suitcase, my pop-up, you know, all professional, my suit, sitting in reception, get called up to the meeting. Hi, 2 white female buyers. So Claire, how long have you been working at the company? And I said, well, I started melting the mango butter in 2009. So I guess the beginning. Faces go red. Sorry. Sorry turns into interrogation. Oh, but wait a minute. So where did you study again? What's your qualification? And I was like, well, I've got a doctorate of modern science and I'm an allergy practitioner and I'm also an allergy sufferer. So that's my story. You know, I created these products because I have candida, an intolerance to wheat, dairy, gluten and yeast. So there's quite a lot of foods that I can't eat and also a lot of product that I can't eat. And then they sort of softened and one of them was like, look, my brother's got eczema. If you give me one of the creams and he uses it and he likes it, we'll take you on. So I was like, okay, fair enough. Proof of concept. You want to see if it works? Fair enough. Left. A month later, I got the call. Her brother loved it. Yeah, we'll place our first order. In that meeting, they also said, you know what, Claire, we don't think you would be right to front the brand. So we're probably going to have a presenter. Can you send us all the information on each product and then they can sell it? And I was like, okay, whatever you think works. And then when they called that month later, they was like, we looked at it all. You're the expert. You do it. You should come on. So I did a test screening. They were like, you're bloody natural. I was like, yeah, I'm a qualified actress as well. Classically trained. This is nothing. And obviously I'm talking about something that I love. So it's not hard, is it? So, you know, sometimes it's just that. It's just doing something as creative as that to get the foot in the door. But then when I'm in the door, I can't, you know, you know, as an actress, Grace, there's a part of you that is in the character.
Mm.
Do you get what I'm saying? You don't play characters that are completely removed from you, or if you do, you put yourself into the character so that, you know what I mean? So the Grace that is presenting here today, that is a version of Grace. Otherwise, it would be so off that I'd be looking at you like, Grace, this is not the Grace I remember. So for you, at times, it might feel like a uniform that you're putting on. You know, for Black women, that might be, you know, their weave on and their wigs. For all women, that's going to be lipstick and eyeliner, you know, suits, or if you, you know, whatever you wear to work, right? We do have a level of performance when we're in business, absolutely. But in terms of my self-confidence, because I know what I've produced, I know how many awards, I know how many testimonials. I've got people who had a face full of acne do a 30-day video vlog of their transformation, and by day 11 it's gone. So don't forget about 30. So it's that level of confidence that inspires me to continue to be me, because that's all I can guarantee, you know.
Yeah. And there is something about just being you, just being able to show up as you. And I think if we all understood that and got back to that, a lot of the problems are solved. I think we had a few questions.
Yeah, go on.
I think Laurie put her, Ariane put her hand up. Was that for a question, Ariane? And
no, I was just saying.
She's just doing the thumbs up.
And Laurie has said, so how do you build your brand from scratch? How do you define the term brand?
That's a great question. Building a brand from scratch is about finding a problem that you want to solve, and using all aspects of your personality for the reason why this must succeed.
Oh, sorry, I'm just going to mute.
Someone else is speaking, or in the background. I can still hear someone, but I'll carry on. So it's about putting everything that makes you you, which is the thing that everyone thinks is the things you need to hide to be successful. It's like, God, if the world knew I was this, I was that, I didn't like this, I wasn't about that, then that's why it's not going to work. But it's because the fact is, we're all intrinsically divine and wonderful and brilliant. That is the thing that is absolutely guaranteed. And every day that we all get to experience another day of life means that our mission is not complete yet. Now, obviously, some people leave us early for all different reasons. And even in that moment, you could still say that that was divine, right? You might, because of your relationship, say, oh, well, my dad didn't get to see me graduate. He didn't get to see me walk down the aisle. He didn't get to. But it's quite likely that if my dad was around, I wouldn't have went into care, which means that I wouldn't have had that parentless living, which means that I wouldn't have, you know, done a lot of nonsense, the smoking of the weed, the this and the that, to know by 16 that I don't want any part of this. I want to get my degree. I want to finish my studies, you know, and that sort of like self-parenting that me, Jazz and Grace used to do. We used to check each other. Have you finished your homework? We check in with each other, right? So I was blessed with two best friends that were really, really good at checking my character. I was quite a bit of the tomboy, so I wasn't into the whole sleeping around and doing all that, even though I had my own flat and could have been doing that every weekend if I wanted, every day. Party. I was like, party at mine? Never. No, I like my space. I'm writing business plans. I know I'm going to do something great in the future. I'm not sure what that is, but at one stage, I know I'm going to need to have my head together. So I think it's that forward planning, understanding and getting to know yourself, and that takes time. That takes time away from other people, spending time by yourself, getting to know yourself. Like what I put into pre-May, it took 6 months of sitting down with a business plan, traveling alone to Africa, crying, digging deep. I remember my sister, Emma, my younger sister, she challenged me one day and said to me, maybe what happened with so-and-so, maybe it's because you're not cut out for business, because maybe if you were, you wouldn't have let that happen. And for a split second, I was like, maybe she's right. And then immediately my head just cut that talk off. No, it's a lesson learned. There's no failure. It's just lessons. Failure for me is burning out. That's too much. Because yeah, you can be chasing the money, chasing the success, the accolades and all that. But if you don't take care of every area of your life, and for me, that is 4 sections, right? That is your mental health, your physical health, they're separate. Mental and emotional, physical health, your environment, which is your home life, the physical environment as well, and the people you spend your time with, that's all your environment. And then the 4th box in your quadrant, which I talk about in my forthcoming book, is your career. Money, finance. I was acting like my whole life was finance. So I wouldn't care if I haven't eaten for 18 hours or I've got 4 hours sleep. That's not succeeding. Yeah, I might have a lot of money, more money than my peers, but I'm ill. I'm not well. So what's it all for? What's it going to do? You know, that's not balance. You have to have balance in your life. You know, in the last 3-4 months of COVID, I've made more money now by cutting myself off of Instagram and not having to live up to this daily posting and all this distraction than I've made in the whole 10 years of my career. And I was just ill a minute ago. Grace, for some reason you're on mute. I can't hear you. Oh, your sound has gone down.
No, I'm like, wow. But we've got 3 minutes left.
Oh no!
You've got 3 minutes
left. The whole thing.
Like
you should have cut me off.
No, it's just.
Okay, I want a question from everybody. Every single person on the call right now. Let's start with, is that Jerona?
Yeah.
Yeah, go.
Yeah. Did you get a lot of support, while you're doing your business and setting up everything?
No, it's a short answer. No one wanted to know. Everyone thought it was going to fail. Who am I? I got support from my brothers and sisters, 2 brothers, 2 sisters. I got support from my best mate, Jazz, and my bank manager. And then my customers, who I absolutely love and adore. And I always call them my shareholders, because without them, I wouldn't be able to eat. So
one more question. Yeah. Do you still do your skincare?
The
product?
Skincare is coming back in August.
In August?
Yes,
because
my manufacturer who can do all of my formulations for me. It's wonderful. So
I do need some of that skincare. My granddaughter, she suffers from eczema and she's really bad.
Wow. Yep. Yeah. I can't wait to look after her. The URL's there already. ipremade.com. And the social media handles so that you can follow, and we'll let you know when the launch comes. We're selling at the moment some supplements for eczema, so you can actually take internal supplements and powders. And skincare will join in August, and then we'll do a proper official launch.
Okay. Grace can send me the link, Grace, and then we can
Yeah, I've taken a note of the link. And Jerona, I don't know if you can get to chats as well. It is there in the chats, but I'll save the chat. So
yeah, do like a follow-up email after and all the stuff.
Yeah.
And then Sangeeta, thanks for that, Jerona. I appreciate you, love, and we'll get your granddaughter sorted, because it's something that's my speciality is eczema. Yeah. Sangeeta, hey.
My question is, it's a very big question. Like how does one go from being, a beginner, a startup, to being established? And without social media, I think it's a bit impossible at the moment.
Without social media, you think it's impossible?
Because you said you've gone on a break. So is that what you mean, Sangeeta? Because she's like unplugged.
Yes.
Claire, you said you'd unplugged from social media. Yeah,
I think you could.
Well, obviously, I've got 10 years behind me.
Yes.
So people are looking for me.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not engaging. I started my career at the beginning of social media when there was nothing. There wasn't even Instagram. Twitter had just come out, and YouTube was barely, it was unknown. So if you're a starter, I would say that you have to plug all of your social medias, but you really need to start off like, okay, is it fair to say you're a painter? How would you describe yourself? Yeah. What would be lovely if you could do some Instagram lives showing us a picture, start from scratch, a blank canvas, all the way through to you. So maybe have some smaller canvases that you know you could paint something beautiful in an hour, because Instagram live is 60 minutes. Let your email list know that you're going live, and then you could talk to them about your process, your colors, your choices, what emotion you're trying to create.
Are you doing that?
I did do some.
You're doing this. So maybe that's it. You're on the right page, and just keep, because I think from Claire, what we've learned from you is you get to the end.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of us get to a place and then think, oh, it's not really working.
And that's usually the time where it is about to start kicking off. The time that you think, oh, throw it in the towel, I've had enough, is actually the time where you're just about to start. It's doing things like this, jumping on a call like this. Grace, it's absolutely imperative that you share everyone's social media so we can all follow each other. And then, you know, don't be afraid to DM people and just say, look, if it's in line with your brand, or if you've got a quiet moment, would you mind retweeting or regramming my last photo or my last picture? People are happy to help each other. I think we just don't use each other enough. I know that Jerona said, who did I get help from? And I said, no one. That was to begin with. 4 or 5 years down the road, everybody wants to retweet pre-May and show off their skin and how beautiful and healthy they're feeling and looking. So you don't have to ask as much. But in the beginning, yes, we sent products to influencers, journalists, friends and family. Please just, you know, give us your testimonials. Be honest, I'm not paying you, so you can say whatever you like. And thankfully, it was always positive. If anything, I was getting told off for not charging enough or giving too much product away because they weren't finishing it in time. So for you, Sangeeta, I would absolutely say start doing that, and maybe add something else to that, which gives you a platform to start speaking. Are you qualified in your artistry?
No.
No, so you're self-taught.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Again, it might be future thinking, but it might be about creating a small course, because I'm sure a lot of people, and forgive me if I'm wrong, but maybe even retired people would like to do that, because that's the type of thing that us young, on the run, or not even young, because what is young and what is old, but people who are busy are not going to have time to create that type of art.
Yeah, I did.
You might be talking to a niche person who needs a glass of wine, some cheap, make it more lifestyle, how you can incorporate art into your life. Because I love to draw, I love to paint. Do I get time with a 16-month-old? No. But if it was a lifestyle thing that was happening maybe once a month, and there was a £10 charge, and I bring my own bottle of wine, even to the zoo, I might do it once every 6 months, just because I want to hang out with you, do something that I haven't done for a little while. Do you know what I mean? Paint something and then I get the instant gratification of a picture. Maybe you can package blank canvases, buy some paints in bulk and sell them with your Zoom chat and put a price on it so that you get paid for your time, and people they receive all the goods, so they just pick up the paintbrush and paint with you. Yeah.
We're 8:34. We're 4 minutes over. Does anyone need to jump off quickly, or?
No, they're all hanging out. Vivien.
We're all right. We're okay. We're all right.
They're all good. As long as you're good, Grace. I'm going till 9 at least.
Yeah, we're okay. We're okay.
Okay.
Yeah, quick question that occurred to me earlier. By the way, Claire, I love your powerhouse energy.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And I think one of the things that really hit home was the dividing the life into 4, because that's so true, and that's what I'm working on now.
Amazing.
Your experiences, someone else could be in that position and maybe not thrive in the way you have, because no doubt we're all shaped by experiences. Did you always have that energy? Is that what's made the difference? Or what did make the difference that made you swim instead of sink?
Great question. I think even now that I've got a miniature me running around, I can see already my daughter's got that energy. You can't tell her not to do something, because that means she's got to do it, you know. And she's hitting milestones that are double her age, and I'm just like, maybe it is I think they say that's, you know, there's two types of entrepreneurs, right? Ones that are born and ones that are made. And I definitely think I'm a natural born entrepreneur. I think to take ice cream and say, all right, I can't afford the ice cream from the van, because that means if my mum gets me one, she's got to get 4 other children one, and that's £2.50 a night. And in 1991, when you're on, I don't know how much child benefit was them days, and she's a stay-at-home mum, separated from my dad at this time, that's not going to fly. It's not going to work, right? It's a school uniform to pay for and whatever else. So for me to say to Kerry's mum, who, Laurie, was a solicitor, she had more money than the rest of us, look, Laurie, can you give us £2? We're going to buy cones, 40 pack, and then a big tub of, you know, Napoleon, whatever it is, with the vanilla, the strawberry and the chocolate, and we're going to make our own and sell it on for 40p, so undercut the van, and you know, the man in his fancy van. I think that energy of how can I create an opportunity for myself, I think that is something that just comes to you naturally, but it's not something that you can't learn. And I think energy, thank you so much for that lovely compliment, is absolutely key to this. Because I tell you what, when I was ill in my bed, I thought to myself, what if I can't recover? What if I can't come back? What if my best years are behind me? And that frightened the life out of me. But I actually, through my meditations, was seeing myself smiling again with my daughter, seeing myself, because remember, if your face is not working, you can't eat on that side, you can't drink. So that's really confronting. I'm having to learn like a baby how to wink and blink out of my eye, how to eat and how to drink, right? So for me, it was like a true full-on rebirth. And I said, if I could start my life again, how would the next 35 years be? Well, I've put myself in a situation where I'm financially free. I don't have to worry about finances. So what would I do now? How would I think? That negative voice has become quieter, and the can-do approach, to the point where I'm now like investing in other people's businesses. I can turn the volume up on that. But that quadrant that I spoke to you about is because I manage those. Physical health, doing 20,000 steps. I've got the app on my phone, and I don't feel grateful to myself unless I've hit that every single day. And I'm tired, I'm finished. You know, certain times I'm waking up 2-3 times a night with a little baby. I don't want to go for a walk, Vivien. I don't. But I know that if I don't want to feel that pain in my knees, or that pain in my stomach from childbirth, because, you know, if you get stagnant and you're sitting all the time and just on the laptop, those aches and pains are going to start showing when you're middle-aged and up, yeah? You've got to do the things you don't always like. It's not about instant gratification. It's about the payoff. How we're eating and drinking and living now is going to be the fuel for the next 10 years' time. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's about that investment now, like I said, knowing that this is not a dress rehearsal. You're only going to be here once. And that means even at 70, if you get that opportunity to begin again. You know, you can start again tonight. You might leave this chat and think, wow, what is that thing that I've been putting on the back burner? What is that thing that I said, I'm too fat, I'm too unattractive, I'm white, or I'm black, or I'm Asian, or I'm 50, and I'm past it now? No way. No way. The greatest equalizer is the internet. And there's someone or a community of people that are looking for your thing. Now, like I say in my book, that might mean that your business turns over £2,000 a month. For some of you, that's like £2,000 a month. I can pay my rent, pay my bills. That means I'm free. That your business might take £20,000 a month, might take 200. You have to know what success looks like for you. People have moved the goalpost so everyone thinks, oh, if I've not got $1 billion idea, I'm rubbish. Crap, rubbish. You have to set the standard of success for yourself. my standard of success is being able to put, you know, food on my daughter's tray and be able to have enough money in my account that I'm not worried.
So would you say that your success, I mean, how many, did you actually make goals? Because it sounds like you've really been driven through survival and therefore succeeded. Did you ever make plans about, I want to have this much or that much?
I always had goals. I even look at them, old ones now, I find them, little bits of paper, right, you're going to do this, going to do that, and then I laugh because I'm like, oh my God, you've done all that. Vision boards.
So you did what everyone else does as well?
All of that. But you know, the fact is, like I said to you before, my vision board before was 100% career. I want to be on the cover of that magazine. I want to have this much money. I want to travel here. There was nothing in there about going for therapy. Last year I went to therapy because of something that took place in my childhood. It's like, yeah, that's what you need to do. You need to overcome that, because that's something that keeps buzzing around in your head, and only became an issue once I had a child, because I was like, oh, no, I need to resolve that because that's not good, you know? So I think at different ages and stages, things become even more apparent and we can consume that information better because it means something different at different stages. But now, like my vision board, or say my goals, like I put my goals near my toilet because I spend a lot of time in the bathroom wiping my daughter's bum every hour. And they're like simple things. I say simple, but I bet you can't put any money on this. Like the number one is to have patience. Have patience.
So patience.
Number 10 is like, choose the peaceful option.
Yeah.
They're not financial goals, because what it is once you tidy up your spiritual energy, everything you want is going to come to you anyway.
Yeah.
I know that sounds so lofty, and you gurus on YouTube say it, you're like, oh, shut up.
No.
But I swear to you, like, I was the one who was working her arse off to get it. And you will get somewhere like that. But once you work smart and not hard, once you tidy up your brain, your mind, and the conscious and unconscious chatter, because you can't turn this off, ex-boyfriends, how much body fat I've got, my hair's not growing, hate my business partner, like whatever it is, once you could stop that chatter and say, I'm so grateful for.
I think
everything great takes time, so I need to be patient. Yeah, my manufacturer is really doing my head in, but I'm going to choose peace when I email her. That's the energy that I'm working with right now.
I like it. I like your spiritual energy.
Yeah. Because I realized that that's all there is. It's all, you know, it's just all vibe and energy. That's it. So if you work hard, the money's going to come hard. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas if you think, how can I add value to people's lives? How can I create things that are so edifying and enjoyable and lovely and loving and come from love? That's number 9. Do everything from love, with love, for love, and nothing else. I don't care, Grace, about being liked. I used to care about that a lot. People think I'm this, I'm that. I don't care, you know. Hey, how much lighter do I feel now that I know that I don't care?
Yeah.
Free yourself from all the entanglements.
I do love your spiritual energy, you know, and you're down to earth. And I'm telling you, inspire me tonight.
Yeah. And you inspired me.
I'm telling you, the vibes, you know?
Yes.
Very strong. Yeah. Yeah.
I think Claire, thank you so much for being yourself. I think
yes, man.
what we can relate with branding and what you were saying is be authentic, and whoever will follow your authenticity.
That's right.
And it comes out from how you deliver your story, when you talk about your products. You are authentic, and that's what makes your brand, isn't it? That's what makes you. So I really relate to that. And a truly amazing story that you shared tonight, Claire. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, all of you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can we just hear from, is it Laurie? And then I guess we can, Grace, you can wrap us up. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Mine was the brand question. So yeah.
So Laurie asked the brand question. Sara-Jane, she's just messaged.
Oh yes, that's right.
Very inspirational. She did have a question earlier about, she said her skin is super sensitive. She said she's never found products that she can use, but she uses products like Aquamax.
Okay.
What would you recommend for a daily moisturiser?
Pre-made from August, absolutely. Yeah, I'll get details from you. That's fine.
Amazing. She said very inspirational. Sangeeta said we need her back. She's only scratched the surface.
Oh, bless you.
Laurie, yeah.
Definitely.
Do you sort out keloids? Keloids?
Yes, I know exactly what they are. I would say no.
Okay.
No.
All right, thank you.
I used to, when I used to hand make it, but now that it's being mass produced, no, we won't be bringing that cream back. No.
Okay. No problem. Thank you.
Welcome.
Claire, honestly, thank you so much for tonight.
Thank you.
It was beautiful. Your story is so inspiring. I think we've all of us are like vibrating ourselves.
I'm telling you.
Good.
Energy. It's good. Good.
Yeah,
We could sit here and chat all night, aren't we? All we need is a bottle of drink, hey?
That's what I'm saying. Get your bottle of wine and come next time and we'll chat. Now that I know what this whole thing's about, like I said to Grace, bless you, because I get asked to speak on things and I didn't really want to speak until actually the book came out. But because it was you, I was like, oh, I know Grace from time. I've got to come on and chat. So that's why.
Thank you so much. And where can we find this book? Like, where can we keep, like, tell us where else we know we've got your Instagram, we've got your handle.
Yeah, so that's Instagram for Pre-May. So my personal Instagram and Twitter is at Clare Anyiam-O, so that makes it easy for you. And I will put everything on there and my personal website, which will be coming as well, and let you know where you can get the book, because it is for people like you guys. In terms of, I'm guessing that most of you are self-employed or want to be, or are trying to build something from scratch. It's just my personal story tonight, but with some practical daily tools, so that when your shadow voice kicks in, you're like, no, that voice will get quieter and quieter and quieter, to the point where within 6 months' time, you'll just be on autopilot. Yeah. And the book carries you through that. All the lessons I've learned over 11 years of being an entrepreneur, it's going to be in that book.
And before we wrap up, I just wanted to share that when I was sharing it, I had Chioma who said she'd been to the cinemas to watch your film and she loved it. Rashida's in our network. She won an award from you, one of your awards. She's in the makeup industry. She couldn't make it, but she said, I won an award, one of Claire's awards.
Amazing.
And then another lady said, "Oh, has she got links to Uganda?" And I said, "Oh, I'll ask."
Yes, I do.
Yeah, another lady, Marisa. So
that's crazy.
But yeah, thank you so much, ladies, as well. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and it's so lovely to see you all. It feels like it's been too long, and I'm really looking forward to we'll
do a follow-up maybe for just before Christmas, so like you guys can go into the new year, and obviously we'll have the book, so maybe we can do a book club. That will be the differentiator next time, and we can talk through the book, and I can actually, you know what I mean? You can all flick through and read together, and see where you are from even this talk to next time.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah. Before we go, Grace. Would you like to remind everyone about the signposting? And we also have our party coming up.
Yes, we do. So I'll talk about the signposting this Friday at 1 o'clock. If anyone wants to book in half an hour with me between 1 and 2, just to chat, I'm willing to help, support, find out what you need help with, and just do that, then just let me know and we will do that. It's all free and yeah, I'm just here to help on Friday, because me and Ariane alternate each month. This month it's me. So let me know. I'm here. I'd love to be here for you. And Ariane, the party is
so end of next month, and we need everyone's input on this. It's unlikely that we're going to have a physical party unless the easing down happens quicker than it's happening now. So we need some ideas from all of you in terms of party on Zoom. What would you like to do? And have you got any contacts? So please do share with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Claire, we'll let you go. Thank you so much for
lovely to see you. Take care.
Bye bye.
Yeah, thank you, Claire.
This is like a medicine. Medicine. Oh,
bye,
man.
Laurie. Bye, Vivien. Bye, Sangeeta. Bye, Sharona.
Sangeeta, you put in at 1.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Sara-Jane.
Like we don't want to leave, innit?
No, so much fun.
Yeah, bye.
Bye, Jerona.
Bye-bye. Speak soon for Friday.
Yeah, so let me know, because Sangeeta's booked in at 1. So if you're around for a chat at 1:30.
Yeah,
we'll do that. Amazing.
Okay then. Bye-bye. Have a good evening. Bye.